Hello and welcome to my new show. And this show is in Candid Conversation. और ये show है as usual नीलम सक्सेना पेज पर. What is different in this show? तो ये शो जो है वो स्पेशली ऑथर्स, पॉडकास्टर्स एंड कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स वगैरह उनके लिए है ये शो. It's going to be a very small segment specifically targeted for this my author friends. So one of my author friends is Pooja Nangia. She's present with me right now. Welcome to the show, Pooja ji. Okay, so I guess Pooja ji has gone. Hello, are you there, Pooja ji? Okay, I think she's having a little bit of network connections. Pooja ji, you're not audible. I think there is some
Yeah, I
network
think
issue
there's
at
an
your
issue with
end.
the connection. I can.
Yes. Yeah, that's okay.
No, it's not on my end. I think it's the other way around, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
So
hello to everyone. Thank you for having me here on the platform.
yes. So Pooja ji is a podcaster, one of the first podcasters that I'll be interviewing today. And Pooja ji is also an author, definitely an author. She has published a book. So Pooja ji, tell us first about your book and then about your podcasts.
Sure. So I published my book in the year 2020. I'm sure everybody knows the COVID times kind of locked us all down. So that was the time when I actually thought if I were a teenager, probably I would have, started writing. But those, of course, I mean, your writing evolves as you, grow up. So I couldn't have included all those poems, but I mean, refined a lot of them. I wrote a lot of new poems, and and COVID was a time where everybody was at home. There was ample amount of time to reflect on your life, sit and think about what you want with your life. And this is one talent that kind of helped me tide through the tough times, because we were all sitting in our houses with our family members. Yeah, that is when I thought I'll just collate and put this all in the form of a book. It was, of course, a long lost desire. I mean, we all get busy in our corporate lives, in our work lives, and all of that goes at the back of the mind. But this was the time when I thought I'll finally publish my writings. It's a high time that the world gets to see my writings as well. I think they deserve a place in the world as well. So kind of mustered up the courage. A lot of my friends encouraged me, especially my colleagues who are now ex-colleagues. They all encouraged me when I showed them my writings, and they were like, you must publish your book. And that is when the thought occurred, ki, chalo, it now is the time that one should be collating all of the collection and putting it up as a book. So yeah, a huge credit goes to my friends and my colleagues, also my sister, who was all the time, who's always been encouraging me to put my creativity to some use. And so that is how the book came in shape, and it's called
your
Akanksha.
creativity is growing leaps and bounds because you have even tapped the podcast segment. I'm really excited to hear about the podcast segment because this is something a very new and a young channel, and you have mastered it. I mean, like, literally, you have recently you received an award for it, right? So
Yeah.
please tell us about the podcast. Like, how did it start, and what is the content of your podcast?
Yeah, so like they say, serendipity happens. Sometimes chance gives you that opportunity. So there was this competition where I had sent my poems. This was for one of the podcasting platforms called Hubhopper. They were conducting a competition for poetry, and this was very new. So I thought, why not just give it a try. So sent them my poem, and my poem got selected. And that is how I got involved with the platform. And that is why when I thought, let me give it my voice also. So initially, of course, because I had never done all of that, the voice used to tremble, and there were kind of hiccups there. But slowly, of course, I mean, now I've kind of grabbed it, and I've managed to modulate my voice, and hopefully people like to listen to my voice as well. And the content, like you said, like you asked, content, I have two podcasts basically. One is a poetry podcast, which is in Hindi, and the other one is a parenting podcast, which is in English. I've recently converted it to bilingual podcast, which means it's both Hindi as well as English, the parenting one.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is amazing. Like every mother, I mean, most of the females are mothers, parent at some point of their time, in their lives. Uh, but that the regular thing, jo kind of ma. I mean, it's very this sharp. But then you have converted that into a parenting tip for podcasts.
Yeah.
Your viewpoint and all that, and it's something amazing that you have created. So if we have to listen to your, like, if I want to listen to your podcast, where do I get to listen to your podcast, like?
Yeah, so basically you can listen to the both the podcasts on various platforms like Amazon Music. It's available on Hubhopper. Spotify is one of the major platforms that you can listen to it. It's available on Geo7. It's available on Ghana, Wink, and there are so many other. Whichever is your favorite audio channel, there you can actually search for my name, which is Pooja Nangia, or search for my podcast, Bougainville and Bits and Bytes. Both of them are available on all these various channels. So
Yeah.
that is where
So,
you can.
Pooja ji, I would suggest that after we finish with this talk show, and while we are, sharing this video later on, please do, put the link of your podcast wherever it is available, or at least, the name, so that the people get the spellings correct, and they
Sure,
are,
sure.
able to subscribe and listen to your lovely podcast, because you have an amazing voice. I can already hear that amazing voice that you're having, and I'm like really excited. I want to hear more of your podcast. But like, when you started these podcasts, both of them, you had this parenting tips. Like, what challenges are you facing right now, like in the content space? Like, are
So
there any challenges that you're facing?
yes, definitely. The challenges, of course, and the competition has increased. When I started podcasting in the year 2020, it was still in its nascent stage. So the listenership was much, much higher as compared to what it is now. And of course, there's a lot of competition. There are a lot of people who started podcasting now, and they started recognizing podcasting as one of the major this thing communication channel. A lot of marketing is happening through podcasts. So a lot of companies that you see, organizations, they've started putting their content, marketing content, as podcasts. So there is a lot of competition, lot of people entering into the space. So the listenership of course gets affected. So you have to constantly keep at it. You have to constantly keep adding your content, and make sure that the content is relevant. The consistency is important. The relevance of the content is important. So how do you hit the audience? Like, how do you reach out to the heart of the audience? Like every other medium, I mean, there also you have to be extremely consistent, extremely unique, so to say, so that people are actually attracted to not just your voice but also the content that you are presenting. Both are important, I think. If the content is there but the voice modulation is not there, the voice quality is not there, it may not sound pleasant. But if the voice is very pleasant, and but the content is not relevant enough, you will not go and look out for my podcast, or you will not want to. Maybe even if you happen to listen to one or two episodes, that next time you will not probably go to the same podcast.
Yeah,
So
that
consistency is
is
very,
true.
very important. Yeah.
Yeah, that is so very true, that you need to be consistent in whatever work you do. I mean, be it
Yes.
podcasting or writing, and until unless you don't write every day, you don't, I mean, don't have anything content every day. Content is the king. So yeah, you need the
Content is.
content every day. Content
Yeah.
is the king, right?
And it's
So
also on to you. Like, I mean, the more you write, the more your writing gets evolved. The more you talk, the more you know how to modulate your voice, and
true.
have that emotional control when you are talking, the pace and everything. So it's also on you. I mean, you also get to practice and become a finer individual.
Yes, that is so true. I have a few more questions regarding podcasting, and I'm sure our lovely audience also might be having the questions. what are the things that you need for podcasting? Like, is there any, you need a proper studio or something, like कि basic chalta hai, whatever, like.
Yeah. I mean, of course, you have to have your content that has to be relevant.
Yeah.
You should know what is the audience that you are targeting. That is the utmost important. Like any other medium, you should know who you are trying to reach out to, and of course, you have to tailor your content according to them. So, if it is supposingly a parenting podcast, you know that your target audience is the parents. So, you have to be able to write such a content or script wherein you are able to reach out to those people, reach out to the relevant, I mean, think about relevant topics. What is it that parents experience, or what are the challenges that they face? So your content has to be extremely relevant that ways. So one is that, and of course you need to hone your voice. The voice quality has to be good. There's a lot of free music that is available. You can put that in the background, and other than that, you can actually, it's these days it's become extremely simple. You can do it right from your phone. You just need to download an app and do the recording. So there are inbuilt studios in these apps these days. So it's become extremely important. Other than that, on the laptop, it's good if you have a mic, because it kind of enhances the quality of the voice. It
Voice
cuts out
quality.
the background noise, and helps you enhance the voice. But other than that, I mean, you don't need much of a studio like environment. Of course, I mean, you have to make sure that you are sitting in a silent environment where there is जहाँ पे बर्तन नहीं खड़क रहे हैं पीछे, and you know vehicles are not passing by. So those are the challenges. You have to look into, I mean, look for a space that is quiet, and look for a time where most of the people are either out of the house or in their sleep mode. So look for timing, look for all those kinds of things. Other than
Yes,
that, is your own. So your room can become your own studio. That is.
that is amazing. Because sometimes many of us, we are scared to try new things.
Yeah.
uh, you know and you did that. I mean, you literally came out of, I mean, you were not in a cocoon, but still, ek hota na, you were out in your comfort zone. You came out of that, and you started those podcasts, and you have built them beautifully. And both the contents are so diverse. There is no overlap, I guess.
Yeah.
The content of both the podcasts. So you have and as well, I mean, you recite poetries on the Neelam Saxena page. You have been a guest with us quite
I
a few
also have an
times.
Instagram page wherein
Yeah.
I do much more poetry than my podcast. So yeah, so that was also a revelation, because I am basically an introvert. I mean, I would shy away from talking in public or talking to people. So podcasting was a platform where you just needed an audio. It was it's an audio medium. You just need to
Yeah.
talk, and you just need to speak. I mean, there is nobody directly listening to you, so that fear factor definitely is not there. You can just be in your room and talk bindas whatever you want to talk, and recite poetry, give parenting tips
Yeah.
or whatever. That way it worked. Actually, it really worked well for me. And slowly now, of course, I have mustered up the courage to be on the screen and talk to people. But yeah. Thank you so much for
Yes, you are here. Yes, you are here today, and that is, not because you are here on my show. It is because you are here on this huge platform, and this is not the first time that you are here. So it is, and I've been following you on Instagram as well, and I do listen to your poetries, frequently. So I know, okay, this, the efforts can be seen. That you put when you are reciting your poetry and all that. Frankly, I have not been able to muster that courage yet. This I can do, but I don't know why I cannot record my own poetries. But yes, you have mustered that courage, and I must congratulate you for that.
thank you.
And are there plans of any books based on these podcasts that you might, write in the future? Are there any books in the future?
No, not as of now, but yes, I mean, I do have, I mean, I do plan to write a book that will not be based on these podcasts, but something extremely different, probably life's journey or something like that. I mean, I do have a topic in mind, which I may not want to, reveal at
Yes.
this point in time. It's still in the nascent stages, but yeah, maybe in another 1 or 2 years, if everything goes well, probably I'll come up with another book. Yeah,
Yes.
but
So
to
it
budding
will
authors, I would like to
go.
say, sorry.
I said yes, it will definitely go well because we are waiting to hear more from you and read more from you.
Thank you. I hope I am able to hone my writing skills much better, and so that the book is worthwhile, worth reading, and it kind of attracts the right kind of audience.
Yes, I'm sure you will do that. And because, as you said, we need to evolve. So yes, evolve every day. Even the best-selling author has to evolve every day because every day the person has to write, to that level that he has already set for himself or herself. So yes,
Yes.
people have to evolve, and evolving is the key to success. So I'm
Yeah.
sure you will be successful in all your future endeavors.
Thank you
And
so much.
whenever you write a book, I would really, really like to have you back so that we can discuss about that book as
It will
well.
be a pleasure. It will be my pleasure actually to be with
Yes.
you and enter into a discussion with you.
Mhm.
Definitely, why not?
Yes. So we have a few of our audience, those who have been, listening to us. So we have Aparna Pradhan. She is also one of the admins of and a very popular person on the Neelam Saxena page. She is from Goa. Then we have Kaviraj Yaduvanshiji. Even he's one of the more popular poets on the group. And
Yeah.
he says good evening to both of us. Then we have Mr. Humayun Kabir.
Hello.
I Yes. So these all of them have been continuously with us. They have been listening to us. So I would suggest that after we finish the show, please do go back and revert to their lovely messages and encouraging messages that they might have put. And this is let me tell to the audience who have just joined, this is a new segment in Candid Conversation. It is aimed especially at my author friends and content creators and podcasters who might be there. So anyone of y'all who wants to be on the show, do let me know, because this show is going to be there twice a month. And of course, Art Connect is always there. So all the artists that who are there who have not yet come on the show and do want to come on the show, Art Connect is once a month. So do ping me up. And you know me, this is Meera Bhansali here on the Neelam Saxena page, along with my first guest in the Candid Conversation, Pooja Nangia, and she is an awesome podcaster. Do listen to her podcast. She has two podcasts. So do listen to her podcast. We will be sharing the link or the names of the podcast later, but her podcasts are available on various platforms like Hubhopper, Spotify, and Ghana. So do listen to her, do encourage her, and she do follow her on Instagram and on Facebook as well. And I guess that's it. That is a very small segment that we have. So thank you
Sure.
to my lovely audience. Thank you, Pooja ji, and you may address the
Thank you. Thank
audience,
you so much.
please.
Thank you, Meera ji. Thank you for having me, and thank you for giving me a chance to be talking to you and discussing my podcasting journey and my writing journey. Hopefully, we'll keep
It
meeting for
was,
this.
yeah, definitely we'll keep meeting. It was an awesome, experience, as well as my pleasure to listen to you, other than the podcast, face to face, that is. And I
Yes.
will definitely, listen to all your podcasts henceforth. I promise you that. And thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for giving your time. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you. Good night. Yeah. Good night.
Can I?